Whether or not you should dropship in your business could be one of the biggest decisions you have to make, and getting it wrong could cause you to close your doors. Now, I've personally consulted with over 2,000 clothing brands, and with just a few questions, I can get a very good idea on whether or not your brand will be around in a few years. So in this video, I'm gonna show you why dropshipping does not work long-term, what to do if you have $0 to start your brand, and the blueprint of what to do instead of dropshipping. And yes, if you're a clothing brand, you will still get value out of this, even if you are not dropshipping. So the most important number in business is one that gets glazed over a lot, and it is the only number that matters to me and should matter to you. And it's probably the biggest reason I'm not a fan of dropshipping products, because you lose a lot of this in that number. Now, this number you need to know is net profit, not gross profit. I'm gonna put it up here just so you can stare at it. It is the most important number in your business. Net profit, not gross profit, but the total money left over after everything. So let me explain this really quickly for those who do not know, a very simple math lesson. Gross revenue is what everybody shows you inside of Shopify or inside of their Stripe account. That's the gross revenue. Net revenue is when you open up your bank account, whether it's Bank of America, don't choose them, or USAA or whomever, and it actually shows you the money that was deposited in your account. That's the net profit. After you've paid for everything, how much is actually left. Let's do an example here for you guys if you are selling a t-shirt. So let's assume that there is a $30 t-shirt, okay? So decent price for a shirt, maybe a little bit higher than normal. With 50% cost of goods, you got $15 left over. This is easy math, okay? So $30 is the gross revenue that you would make when you actually charge somebody for this t-shirt. 50% is the cost of goods. You're left with $15 down here, so you immediately lost 50% of the actual money that you would have made. Then you have shipping. It's paid for by the customer unless there's an offer. So hello, got to make sure to factor in shipping. All right, let's just assume the customer pays shipping. You're not giving them a great deal. Okay, then you have taxes, and there's all these phantom taxes that are going on here, but we'll just assume that the taxes are just a write-off or a pass-through. So in Texas, it's 8.25, 6.25 from the state, and then 2% locally. So let's just assume 8.25 gets passed on to the customer. You're still at $15 here, gross revenue so far. Then you have your packaging costs, meaning, okay, how much does it cost to do the poly mailer and everything else? Let's just go low end here, right? I'm just gonna say, just for easy math, I'm gonna say 50 cents after everything. Put in like a little sticker, and you put in your, you buy the actually poly mailer bag. So let's just say 50 cents. So, all right, now we're left with, I'm gonna move over to the side here. We're left with $14.50. And then even if you could do this once without ads, unless you know how to create content that can go viral, or you have a product that could actually scale, you would need, or you do influencers, and again, those are all assuming you know how to do them well and you can do it consistently. If you run into ads, you instantly have lost all of that actual profit. So let's say you had an amazing new customer acquisition at $13, because this is awesome. Let's say you can spend $13 to acquire the customer, which if you're a clothing brand owner, I promise you to, now we're not talking cost per purchase, we're talking cost to acquire a new customer. Let's say you get it for $13 consistently from Facebook ads. You're spending $100 a day or so. If you can spend less than maybe 13 bucks, maybe feasible, but for the most part, most people can't without an amazing offer, which then cuts into your profit anyway. But $13, okay, so that leaves you with $1.50. That's hopefully we figured it out. But let me explain what Facebook shows you, and then what is a new acquisition that is not tracked. So let's pull up Facebook real quickly and I'll show you, okay? Because Facebook shows you cost per purchase. But before we get into that, I just want to say a quick hey, howdy, and hello. I'm Aaron, and I am one of the co-founders here at Bit Branding, and we specialize in helping clothing brands grow and scale online. So me, alongside my business partner Christian, have served over 250 clothing brands in the last year alone. Christian, over here, focuses on the website side of things. So more specifically, a lot of Shopify sites. We do work with some other stuff, but mostly Shopify sites, everything with apps, AI, that's kind of his forte. Mine is more the marketing and advertising piece. I would really appreciate a like and subscribe. Please do that so that you do not miss out on any of our latest content, especially if you're a clothing brand owner. If you do this in the next 3 seconds, I'll share with you my prediction of who will win the Super Bowl this year. Okay, so on the screen here, as you can see, so this cost per purchase does not take into consideration whether it's not a new customer. So 343 purchases, cost per purchase, $30.58. So assuming that you can get a customer for $13, which is really, really good, that's amazing. But it does not consider whether it's a new customer. You got to use something else like Triple Whale, which is an attribution software. If you need that, whatever, there's a link in the description down below. Go check it out. It will actually tell you where your purchases are coming from, and more importantly, what a new customer acquisition cost actually is. So cost per purchase is the total amount, purchase amount, not considering whether somebody is actually new or existing. And then in CCPA, if you see this anywhere or check it out on Triple Whale, it's called new customer cost per acquisition. It's calculated by the total spend divided by the total number of new customers. With paid ads, it is difficult to get under 25 bucks. I'll tell you right now, especially at scale. And especially if you do not have a well-known brand or a ridiculous deal or offer, which then again lowers your actual profit margins. But let's just say, again, I'm going to talk to you guys throughout this video. I'm going to also show you how to make dropshipping actually work with real numbers, but tell you the truth about the people on the internet that are lying to you, and because they show you gross revenue, not net. You can't go buy your Lambo. Let me tell you the difference, right? You can't go buy your Lambo with gross revenue. That's the difference. If we get all of these things in this scenario correctly, we made from a $30 t-shirt $1.50. And I'm gonna tell you how we can fix this and we can actually make money off of it, but all of that is lost because we're giving up 50% of our cost of goods, which sounds great because you don't have to put any money into drop shipping or print on demand. However, that's a big chunk to lose right away, and it leaves us with $1.50. Well, awesome. You can't even buy a 32-ounce drink anywhere around here for $1.50. So no cashing in on that. But don't worry, we're going to talk about making some money. To clarify, I'm still not suggesting you use dropshipping long term if you want to build a brand versus making a few bucks. Now, dropshipping is fantastic for clothing brand owners who want to validate their product and make a little capital and reinvest in their brand to find a manufacturer with a low MOQ or minimum order quantity and higher profit margins so that they can actually scale a brand. This channel is about how to build a business that is going to change your life, change your family's life trajectory, not about how you can hopefully make a little bit of money to buy that Lambo and show off to people, which is cool. I'm fine with that, but that's not this channel. I want you to build a sustainable business. Now, this is what I would do. I would make the move to a manufacturer after I get 100 customers. I would set up my email and SMS and was getting at least 20% of those customers to come back. So in a 30-day time period, of those 100, I need 20 of them to come back and make a second purchase. Because the number that actually makes all of this work, even your $1.50, okay? I'm telling you how this works here. This $1.50 works when you turn this into LTV, so lifetime value. So if they buy again a second time, and no, I'm just for dramatic effect here, I'm gonna say they make $31.50. At the end of it, this $1.50 turns into $31.50 because you don't have to acquire the customer anymore. If you want to know real numbers, it's more like total would be, actual profit would be more like $14.50 because we don't have to acquire the customer anymore. Probably because of email and SMS, we're left with 14. So in 30 days, I made $14 off of this customer because of this amazing little acronym here, lifetime value. That's how this works. But most people don't talk about that. Most people just tell you, sell as many as you can, get in, get out, have a winning product, hope it's cool, right? Create a great shirt, copy some designs, run into some copyright issues, trademark issues, and then hopefully you got a brand. But lifetime value, that can change everything for you. Look, the truth is 80% of clothing brands are out of business in 2 years. That's it. And look, I understand if you have little to no money, how hard it can be to start a company. It's been almost 10 years now, but I did the exact same thing, right? I literally was in the exact same situation that you are. My business partner, Christian, and I saved $2,000 total between both of us, right? Not very much. And we were 23 and quit our jobs, and we literally went all in. And I remember the day perfectly. It was September 3rd, actually my wife's birthday, and Christian quit his job September 10th. I was living in the Dallas, Texas area. Christian was living in the Tulsa area. So for those who do not know, it's about, I would say, about 3 to 4 hours north of Dallas. And we started the business and met via FaceTime before work and after for about an extra 30 hours on top of our regular full-time jobs. And we had to pay for rent, we had to eat. I know it's required. You have to eat and somehow acquire customers to not go back to our 9 to 5 at $2,000 a month. Not even a month. That's total how much we had. we had less than that to survive for both of us. I'm going to show you exactly how to make this happen for you, because it's very possible, where you can build a business that can actually last the test of time. Because that's, I mean, at the end of the day, if I help you make $1,000, cool. I mean, I'm very excited for you. Maybe this is your first $1,000, but I want you to create an actual business that will last a long time. That's what's really exciting here. Okay, so I'm gonna jump into a couple of things here, but before we even do that, I wanna hit on, for us to understand a solution, we have to figure out what the problem actually is. So what are all the problems with print on demand, and let's find a solution for them. So first of all, the biggest one, COGS, we already talked about that, right? The problem is that they're extremely high. The second thing is that product quality is actually typically super low. So product quality. Third one, most people for print on demand, the content typically sucks. And the reason why is because they don't. Now don't be this person. I'm already talking about a solution because I can't stop thinking about it. The content usually sucks because nobody actually orders the product. Please order the product. Bad customer service. If you haven't worked in a customer service role, and you order a product and it takes longer than expected, you got to have good customer service, much better customer service than if you had great product packaging, great product timing, shipping, etc. So you have to have amazing customer service rather, which becomes a little bit more difficult as you are, I would say, working with a lot of angry customers. Probably one of the biggest ones here, I would say anyway, is scale. They miss on every single one of these. They are not doing super well here, okay? Because cost of goods, super high. Product quality, hit or miss. Content, you probably don't have too much money for it, or you're not focused on, you like to print on demand. Why should I buy my product? So the content for it sucks, or you're using AI, which no offense to AI yet, but it's just really not the greatest content yet. Customer service, very hard, man. It's draining to deal with customers who are freaking upset all the time. And then scale, very hard to do. We already saw the equation earlier. So now that we know the actual problems, let's get into some solutions here. So what would I do? I would switch to a different marker so that we can actually see something that's hopefully a little bit more inspiring. So number one, I would focus on the 5 1s. And so we'll put these onto the screen here. I will not write them out for you. So number one is one audience. Find exactly who that audience is. Number two is one offer. What's your offer to the marketplace? It could be an amazing deal. It could be the buy one, get one. It could be free shipping. It could be a free gift. It could be same day shipping, whatever it is. So you got one audience, one offer, one message. We'll get into that. There's a whole nother video. I'll tell you guys where to go to a little bit later for the messaging piece. So many brands mess this up. One message, one platform / what's traffic source. So whether it's Facebook ads, Instagram organic, YouTube, wherever it's at, right? So one traffic source, and you're gonna do that for 1 year. That's how you build a business. The other thing too is what I would be doing, right? So I'd focus on those 5 1s. Second thing, I'd use a tool like Printful. I'm not affiliated with them, and honestly, I don't really care for them that much, but they are the best as far as like quality meets timing meets like customization, right? Oplique has better quality, but their timing absolutely sucks. Like other brands are okay, they're just not the greatest. Some of these boutique level ones, there's like a CJ, can't remember exactly what it is, but it's based out of China and it's like, it's okay too. No manufacturer photos. So whether you're doing a boutique or whether you're doing like a t-shirt brand, it doesn't matter, but I'd use Printful. I would even use the CJ brand. Again, it's drop shipping. It's going to take $10 to $15 or more. The third thing I would do, or next after that though, is I would figure out manufacturing myself. So whether you decide that you want to go to China or whether or not you go to somebody down the street, which I would prefer you went to somebody down the street because it's typically going to be a better experience for you and your customer. Not technically better quality. I don't think that's the case. You can get good quality overseas, but you can handle the manufacturing and you need to keep that close to the vest at the beginning. The other one is moving to a 3PL. Okay, so a third-party logistic company. This is kind of like the best of both worlds. As you're starting to grow the brand, you can move to a company that would actually handle the fulfillment for you so that you could treat this more like drop shipping. So it's kind of like great, focus on the 5 1s marketing-wise. We'll get into that here in a second. Printful. Okay, keep that a print on demand. Your manufacturing, your cost of goods are going to be lower. eventually move to manufacturing, could be overseas, and then bulk order and actually have them ready to print or ship out or buy from boutiques online. And then move to a 3PL if you want to actually be hands-off more. Again, you're going to lose cost of goods, you're going to have some margins that you're giving up, but it's going to be much better than the actual print-on-demand model, and your customers are going to have a much better experience. Okay, so that's what I would do if I was not going to drop ship, or if I wanted to start drop shipping and then transition into something that was like drop shipping, but I would say a much better option for your customers. My wife has always purchased on quality, and I've typically gone for the most affordable route. Maybe you're like me, I don't know, but I grew up in a small town in Kansas and had some, let's just say, humble beginnings. So it took time for me to focus on buying the right thing the first time versus getting the best deal today. And I want to share with you guys exactly what I would do if I was you right now and wanted to build a 7-figure company. So first thing I want to do is figure out what problem my brand is solving. That's a question mark. You can see that? There you go. Man, that does not look like a question mark. Anyway, I want to figure out what problem my brand is actually going to solve and who I want to serve in an extremely niche market. Like one person. You can't be like men and women. That tells you if you're niche enough. If you tell me I serve men and women, wrong. I'm gonna give you the red marker. No, you serve one person. That's it. The next thing I would do is research what my audience actually wants. Okay, so number one, problem. Number two, what is the actual, right? So you do this through observation and figure out, okay, what is it that I actually want? Observation through my own content creation, DMs, also my own competitors, people that are very close to me. What are people actually wanting? What are they interacting with? I would create 1 to 4 product styles. Let's say they're t-shirts. I think that's probably the easiest to explain here, and create them with one color. So 4 products, that's it. People are like, oh, the store is gonna look too empty. I don't care, I don't care. It does not matter. If you can add validity to the rest of the store, it doesn't matter. And if it's to the right audience, I promise they will buy. Okay, so 4 products, and again, it's kind of like Henry Ford, right? You can have a Model T in any color you wanted, literally any color you wanted, as long as it was black. You got to do the same thing here. If they started a full production line off of the Model T, you can sell 4 t-shirts, okay? I would then find a manufacturer, preferably somewhere local to me, so I can go down and shake hands. I mean, maybe you guys are like, nah, that seems old school. Cool, zig when people zag. Even if it's a local printer and not necessarily a manufacturer, I want to feel and see the product. The quality needs to be solid. It's better to be different than it is to be better, so quality doesn't play a huge factor, but it does play a factor. It's just assumed that you're gonna get a good quality product. Then I would go premium with the cost to increase margin, okay? So I'm not selling $30 t-shirts, I'm selling $45 t-shirts. So I'm gonna add in my margin. Now, you may be saying, that's a freaking ton of money for a t-shirt, and you're right, absolutely it is. But I'm going after a niche market with a niche product, and I'm gonna be the best. I'm gonna be number one. If you're not planning to be number one, then what the heck are you doing, right? Are you just trying to blend in like everybody else? That's a real question to ask yourself. Go premium with the cost to increase margin and set up a full funnel. You know, it's gotta look like good what the product is, but then I really need some margin here. So what I mean by that is if I sell 4 products, I'm not letting anybody leave without buying at least 2. So number 5 here, just kind of flip this thing up. I'm gonna do a full funnel. So I'm gonna use a tool like Sell Easy to either upsell or downsell and pause. And then if anything else, I'm gonna use a tool, and this is actually a pretty sweet one. I'm gonna pull it up here for you guys to see. And I'll actually go into the store here another time here, but like more importantly, I would go use a tool like Joofy. Joofy's a new tool that we found out about, and it's been crazy that all the things that you can actually do. And I'll show you here, right? So you have a shopping assistant. So let's say I go to the site and they're like, you know, I got my 4 products, but hey, I'm looking at all these shirts. I go to Jordan as my example, right? So I got these 4 Jordan shirts, and I'm asking them, hey, which one of these should I wear? You know, or which one of these would match like my Nike, you know, my Jordan 1s or something like that. And this bot, the shopping assistant, would be able to tell me. It would say, cool, all right, now which size do I need? I don't know, I'm 5'10", I weigh 160. What's the size should I have? Oh, okay, these are the size recommendations. It's literally walking into like a Nordstrom or a Hollister or an Abercrombie, and somebody's actually helping you with the shopping experience. And then it can upsell or downsell. Just some numbers here, right? So 5 times like cart abandonment, 53% of online shoppers leave before they find what they need because they didn't have it. This thing works 24/7, and in my opinion, it is extremely helpful. The cool part is, I believe depending on how much traffic you actually have, it's all free. We did put it in the description down below so you can check it out. And I reached out to the owner here to get an amazing deal. So if you are somebody who has traffic, you want to use it, it's like 40% off for the whole year for literally using the link we got here in the description. So check them out. I would do that, right? So I'm gonna have a full funnel to increase the margins and more importantly, increase profit because I'm not the one doing it, right? Jufy's doing it. I'm gonna set it and do it one time. It's gonna do it. The next thing I'm gonna do, because again, the number that matters the most, or the acronym that matters the most is lifetime value. I'm going to write a handwritten note every single person, which is not necessarily scalable, but I do not care. I need to do this if I want to build an actual brand. I would also add in something special like a little gift and an insane deal for not only them, but their friends. So don't give them an iPhone, but like give them an insane deal of what they can actually do. Now, I would also follow. Next, the biggest part here is our content scaling strategy. I'll pull it up here, but basically this is exactly what I would do. But first, hold up just 1 second. I just want to say that if you are a clothing brand owner and want to jump into the specifics of your brand and how to grow profitably online, you can schedule a free 45-minute strategy session with us. There are limited spots, so go find a time on the calendar that actually works for you, and the link in the description down below. It breaks down like your offer, the focus, the creative concepts and examples, so as a link to examples. I would just follow this. There's 4 steps that you need to create for your content scaling to make this thing actually work with your ads. If you want the documents, absolutely, I'll send it over to you. Just comment the word scaling down below and we'll send you over this document. My whole point is, look, I do not hate drop shipping. It is just the stage at which you may be at in your business where it makes sense, but do not do it long term. And I think more than anything, the part that I dislike most about drop shipping is that everybody touts it as making you extreme amount of money. Run the numbers yourself. I promise you the numbers are not that great. All right, so now you know what to do to avoid drop shipping, what you need to do instead. It's time to drive traffic to make even more money and more so consistency. Go watch this video on how to do that with Instagram ads for your clothing brand right here next. All right, y'all have a great rest of your day. I will see you next time. And P.S. please make sure to subscribe.